What's going on, Smite fans? You are in for a treat because we are joined with Aquarius, the solo laner from the Valkyries, here to make a wonderful tier list for us. Now remember, with all tier lists that I make with these pros, keep in mind this is not for competitive. This is for ranked specifically.
Oh, this is ranked?
Yeah, this is not you're loading in against
Okay.
pros. This is you're loaded in, and we usually preface it with you're not queued with someone, or if you are, whichever one you want to go with, but you're trying to carry. So you're loading in. And you pick Achilles.
Honestly, that changes a lot.
Yeah, that changes the mindset, and also it means these people at home can if I want to carry, I'll pick Achilles because he said it's good. That sort of thing. So we have the Warriors grayed out, or actually everything but the Warriors grayed out at the moment, and we're going to run through those right now. Let's start with Achilles. S being the highest, E being the worst. You're trying to hard carry a solo game in ranked with Achilles. How good do you think you're doing?
He's pretty solid, but his clear is kind of bad, so
And
you
that
can't
does
rotate
matter.
a lot,
Mhm.
which is what you need to do to carry in solo. So I'd still say he's A, though. He you can carry a team fight with that god in ranked.
Okay, so
100%.
Achilles over to A. Is this, and this is another thing that we can just preface for each. If you have a duo queue, do you think Achilles gets significantly better, or does it not really matter?
Yeah. I mean,
Is that
he's an easy gank to set up for.
Okay,
I mean, 'cause-
yeah. If you have a jungle that's creating pressure, then you can just get the execute. That's always
Yeah.
going to be pretty solid. All right, what about Amma? She's got pretty rough clear as well, but then once she gets online, if you do
Yeah,
go
I
Golden
actually
Blade,
also
she's
think
fine.
she can carry.
Okay.
But again, she also gets pressured out by a lot of gods that are played. But in ranked, you don't fall behind that much, so I would put her in A as well.
Okay, so are you valuing early clear a lot in ranked?
Yeah, well, she gets out pressured, but she has the heal, and it won't matter as much because there won't be coordinated attempts to
Yeah.
put you down.
Yeah, they're not showing up at your blue buff every time it spawns
at
in.
some point, Alma's just gonna run around in a ranked game and kill people.
Okay.
And farm really fast.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of one of her strengths. Speaking of running around, I guess farming decently fast. Bellona's one of those characters that I feel has always been decent, and then, in certain meta she's even stronger. Do you think Bellona is top of the meta at the moment, or just, whatever?
I think she's just fine.
B
Again,
tier
A.
fine?
Okay.
A. Okay.
A again. She doesn't lose many matchups, but she's not the craziest team fight
Okay,
or
so
anything like that.
You're not too worried, but also you're fine to pick us. This is an interesting one because I feel like no one and their mother is picking Chalk at the moment. What does Chalk bring
Nothing.
to your ranked experience? Absolutely.
To your ranked experience, nothing.
Yeah.
He's a walking slow, which is about it.
So are you saying Chalk is E tier, you never want to play him? D tier, you still never want to play him? C tier, you can play him,
If
but
you're trying to carry, yeah, he's D. You're not
Okay.
carrying with Chalk.
okay,
Like
you're just never.
you're just
pick-
clearing the lane and doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Okay, and that's not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Kakolan, though, he's got some pretty decent early clear. You can usually rage at about level 2. You're going to out pressure sometimes, but
I think he's the same. For some reason, all 4 of these gods are just do this kind of the same thing in my head.
yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm feeling you the same way. These early A to C named characters all
Yeah.
seem like they want to be in the A tier at the
Yeah.
moment. So let's move Kakolan over to A as well.
Yeah.
Over to A as
He just
well.
has good early pressure, and he can get ahead because of his rage and rotate relatively early.
And that's all you really want. Now, Erlong Shen is someone I would not consider a solo laner, but
No,
is in
he's
the
not.
Warrior tab for the sake of this list. Let's say in some random world you are picking Erlong.
I think he kind of can carry,
Okay.
but definitely not as hard as those gods. So I'd probably put him in B because he actually does have a decent lane. He can out pressure.
Are you
some
building
gods.
Death's Toll? What would your starter be?
Yeah, probably Death Stall.
Yeah, because I'm just in my head, he doesn't fit with the normal build that people are going at the moment. So it's Death Toll, Berserkers, maybe even
Yeah.
Glad Shield, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, B tier for the Erlong Shen. Gilgamesh, another one that doesn't scream to me solo lane, has been played a lot in the jungle, but
Sometimes, but
I've seen him every once in a while. So do you value any bit the Gilg in the solo lane?
not really. I mean, he is a really good team fight. If you can get to team fights, you do a lot. But
The issue is
his
getting
lane
there.
is not
Yeah.
that hot.
Is it hotter than Chalk though?
Yes. I'd put him in B as well because he's his team fight, like if you're trying to carry, you will do a lot in team fights, like for sure.
This is another question. Are you starting like Bluestone? Because I know Bumbus Hammer was really sick on him for a while, but it got nerfed. What starter item are you going for, like Gilg solo?
I think Warriors X is fine. Like your clear is pretty bad anyway. You might need Bluestone to get through early, but I think the Warriors X in the team fight is just too you'll
important.
do too much.
Yeah.
You'll do too much.
All right. Now we're finally getting to the the picks that get banned a lot, not only in the
Yeah.
SPL but also rank 1. You been on the top of the meta ever since Fae Blessed Hoops have been introduced to the meta. You think 1 is top tier solo, but remember
They did nerf.
Yeah, I was gonna say there has been a little bit that has been taking 1
Yeah.
out. Are you still thinking he's top tier? Or you think he's falling a little behind?
In ranked, I think Guan can still carry pretty hard because his lane's actually not that bad at all. He can win a lot of matchups, and if you do have a jungler, it's so easy to gank for Guan with his horse. Like that's, and then obviously his team fight is ridiculous. And in ranked, people aren't like coordinating their onks on you, and like, so like I think Guan can go in S for like you're trying to carry in ranked, you can play Guan.
Okay, so Guan gonna be our first S tier character thus far. Probably makes sense. I just see him getting banned a ton, and as you said, if you can just spam your heals in team fights, you're usually getting 2 horses off in a fight, and that's just super annoying to try and deal with. Hercules, not a character I've seen too much. I miss playing Herc. Like I think he's fun, but just doesn't get played. Is he slept on, or is he?
I think he is slept on, and
Okay.
they recently buffed his like early attack speed. So I think he bullies people so hard in lane. I actually am putting him in A. I think he's.
I love that.
Yeah, I've been playing him in rank sometimes. And like, wow, this character just hits so hard. Like you don't have the best clear, but you don't need good clear because you can just hit the other person and they can't walk up to the wave.
Yeah, that's true. It's like if they're hitting you, you just get so much stronger. Then you can look for
Exactly.
solo kills. You can always try and pull into the tower. And then if you're getting out pressure, you just ult the wave. Like that's the Herc special.
Exactly.
So a pick that actually gets played a fair bit in the SCC, not something we've seen too much in the SPL, is Horus solo.
Yeah.
I don't see it too much in my ranked games.
Yeah, I've never really piloted this. I know Haddix loves it. He's really good at it. But if you're going to carry in ranked, I feel like Horus is just such a team, like coordinated god.
He doesn't bring much damage. He's not that safe in lane either.
Yeah, so I'm going to put him in like C.
All right, our first C tier for Horus. I tend to agree. If you're solo queuing especially, like you lock in a Horus, even if you play fine, your team's going to be like, we lost because we got this freaking Horus solo who doesn't know what he's doing. And it's hard to, structure the whole team fight around
you
his
need
ultimate.
to like calm to everyone, like I'm ulting here, or like I need follow-up on this. Like you're just a combo pretty much.
Yeah, so if your team follows up and you may be a little bit more valuable, but someone that doesn't need a team is King Arthur. Does have some bad matchups. Cripple's really not his favorite, but I think a safe pick regardless. How good do you think King Arthur is at the moment?
I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Like they nerfed Bluestone as well, so. And Hades is like really good right now.
Yeah,
and
RDO
that kind of stops Arthur's a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I'd put him in A though. Like he's still really good, but like just because of what's being played and them nerfing Bluestone, like you're probably gonna go against something you don't want to play against as Arthur. Which makes it a lot harder to like carry your rank game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if you're picking like up top 2, top 1 situation, you're gonna have to deal with the cripples coming through, and as you said, the Hades that we will surely get to, who's been also running the meta. Mulan.
I love this character.
I was gonna say again a character that I don't see too much. You're a fan of the Mulan.
I do love this.
Do you like Mulan because of the early pressure? You just think her kit's fun? What's about Mulan?
I just think she hits so. She's gotten so many like little random buffs. Going forward, and I feel like she just hits so hard. Early and in team fights, she just does so much
she
damage.
destroys squishies, no doubt. Like, if you get to the mage or the ADC before they get online, you can, that 1v1 so easy.
I feel like there's a lot, like, Mulan has a lot of value, but she is, like, an all-in kind of with her ult. Like, she is either I win the fight or I just die and it's over because I'm stuck there. But
so, the question is, how good is that?
Probably A.
All right, another A tier.
I don't know. Like all these gods in ranked are like very solid.
I mean, this is the key, and this is what all these pros tend to get like a little conscious about when they start making the tier list. It's like I'm hovering around here so much, and it's your list. I'm just here to guide you. If you think that's what you're playing, then that's what we want to see. I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent here. I think Nike is one of the most boring laners that exists, especially like to face her or play her. But She is annoying. Is that
Yeah.
something that you value in ranked at the moment? Is it annoying the enemies?
I mean, she's honestly like not that bad, but
Uh-huh.
she's not like good, and she is so boring. I'm throwing her in B.
Okay.
I don't care about this character, but she is like not bad, especially in rank. She can be really annoying.
Yeah, I think just the lane, you're always getting poked out by her one, and then the freaking shield she puts up for your ranged
Yeah.
characters. Yeah, it's just an annoying time in
Mhm.
lane. Odin, someone that, has a place in the meta whenever, I guess, healers and
very
immobile characters
niche.
come in. Very
Yeah.
niche, decent counter pick.
Yeah,
And-
I put him in B.
Yeah, I was going to say, in this
for that reason.
situation, you're just picking Odin, like,
Yeah.
into any composition,
just-
probably B.
Yeah.
He's got good matchups. He could go higher, but, if you're just...
You don't want to play him all the time. Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't win everything. And-
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Osiris then. Used to be, I would argue, one of the kings of the solo
Yeah.
lane. Definitely doesn't swing the sickle the way he used to, but I imagine still pretty decent. How good are you
Yeah,
thinking
again,
Osiris?
A.
Yeah, right, A.
all these characters are just like
They
they're
do
just
very similar
solid.
things.
Yeah, they're just very solid in lane, and they can rotate and make a big impact because they do a lot of damage.
And that's exactly what you would want from a solo
Yeah.
laner, right? All of these characters, I think, do very similar things and
Yeah.
do them about the same way. Shiva, a character that has been played in the jungle a
Yeah.
bit, but I haven't seen too much of at all. Is there value to Shiva solo at the moment, you're thinking?
I hate this character. I don't know. I just think his ult is so like useless
Uh-huh.
because you just die when you pop in a fight. Some people like him a lot though, and I
But
have.
this
seen
isn't
it-
their tier list.
Yeah, I'm throwing him in B because he does have some matchups with like because of his block stacks and
Uh-huh.
attack speed reduction that he's actually not that bad. Like he owns like Kabrakan in lane, like stuff like that. It's like a niche. Like pick him.
If you can find some decent matchups,
yeah.
you don't mind playing
Yeah.
Shiva, but not your go-to for sure.
Yeah.
You're not a big fan. I haven't seen a Wukong played
I
actually
know.
in such a long time. I forgot this character existed until we see him right there. Because like Bluestone Soul Eater meta is behind us, I feel,
Yeah.
and that's where he really succeeds.
Literally.
So, are you thinking Wukong deserves to be on this list at all, or what's
Yeah,
up with
I
Wukong?
mean, he's still solid. I love Wukong.
Oh,
I
yeah.
put him in B too because I do think in ranked he can get away with just farming and then like he does a lot of damage.
He does a lot of damage. He's incredibly safe.
Yeah, and he can just at some point run around, farm, like be annoying.
Exactly.
But he does lose a lot of lanes early, especially with the nerfs to Bluestone and Soul Eater.
Mhm.
Like he's kind of not as good.
Yeah, so definitely not looking to first pick something like the Wukong. Now, this is a controversial one because I feel like some people think Tier's broken, some people think he's useless. He's always going to be pretty safe in lane, and I feel like, as you said, is able to like run around late game and
Yeah.
be annoying. Is that something you value at the Tier?
Yeah, I actually think Tyr just does what Wukong wants to, but better. So
Uh-huh.
I'd throw him in A for that reason, because Tyr actually like can stalemate a lot of lanes
Mhm.
against like some of these like higher pressure picks, which is like, and he has good matchups into a lot of like if it's a good Tier game, it's a good Tier game.
Yeah, and you can just tell by the
Yeah,
picks. You can be like,
yeah.
ooh, Tier looks pretty clean here.
Yeah.
All right, last of the Warriors. I feel like I've been saying this a lot. A pick that we have not seen very much at all. Vamana has some terrible matchups. You were talking about, like with Guan Yu, for example, how Kurstonk really shuts him down.
Yeah.
Well, Vamana, it doesn't take much coordination to shut him down with Kurstonk. How good are you thinking Vamana is in solo at the moment?
I don't know. I don't like this character.
Yeah, me neither.
But I mean, just because he has if it's carry potential, I'll throw him in B as well, because like there is potential for a Vamana to go crazy in a rank game.
Yeah, that's true. If you see like a lot of immobile characters and you just build like Frostbound, like Hasten, whatever, there's like two
Yeah.
auto attack items, you really can just run down
Yeah.
some carries as we continue. You can see we unhighlighted some of these Guardians because there are a few that we're going to touch on that do get played a fair bit. First of which, we're just going to jump up to Ardio.
Yeah.
Been played in solo, been played in support. I feel like you can't go wrong with.
Sometimes like against like Cupids or Ganeshes or
Yeah.
something, like it's hard to play. It's really hard to play the game, but you can just pick her in lane. She'll do completely fine.
Okay, so Ardio going to go over to A. Kabrakan, one of the top bans in the SPL currently for his support and solo
Yeah.
play. How good do you think Cobb is at the moment?
As a solo laner, I don't think he's like that crazy, honestly. I would throw him in B, but as support, and honestly because it's a flex is why it's so like
Because you don't know exactly where he's going.
And he is perfectly fine in solo.
And
but
if you're playing Kabrakan in solo, are you going like the Hades style of build where you're going one shot, full damage, or are you going like a hybrid build?
I think it depends on the game, but honestly I do think the damage cabs are like way better. It's too oppressive to get like blink auto one shot by a cat,
Yeah.
and you can't Aegis that.
Yeah.
Or you can Aegis after, but you've already taken like over half your health in that time.
Yep.
So
All right, so the damage bracket and also just valuable as a flex pick in general. One more Guardian that I want to make sure we touch on is the Cthulhu. You know,
Yeah.
something that
very strong.
doesn't clear the way very quickly, doesn't control your own blue buffs, but team fight is where Cthulhu obviously
Yeah.
excels, and I think that's something that's really important. So what about Cthulhu at the moment?
I'd put Cthulhu in A, and he actually has a few matchups where he like is actually pretty fine into, even though you'd think he might lose pressure. Like his attack speed slow is, and the fact that his 3's a stun is like really good for like people love him in a Guan.
Like Guan, Bologna,
Yeah,
those sort of
exactly.
things. Anything where you can cancel out their clear.
Yeah, and then attack speed slow. Like it's actually not that bad of a matchup. And then his team fight's ridiculous. So,
Yeah, of course. And we all know how good Cthulhu is there. I actually skipped one. My bad, J-Mac. The Cerberus, I feel like we probably have to touch on just because, you know, when healing comes in, I think Cerberus comes into the conversation.
Yeah, he's another niche, like B pick, kind of like Odin. Like you pick him into a lot of healers, like he gets a lot of value. I love Cerb, but yeah, he's just like more.
All right,
niche.
so you value the Cerb as a decent counter pick when you see a lot of healing locked in. Has some decent damage, some decent setup, but yeah, right there with the Odin, probably a good spot for him. Now, lastly, we got to open up the Mage tab and take a look at. I mean, just one
Just put him in
character,
S,
really.
just
Yeah,
put him
yeah.
in S.
Just bring Hades
Just put him
over
in
to S
S.
tier.
Just put him in S.
He's just his items are so strong.
Yeah.
His team fight's good. His clear, he one shots blue
his
buffs.
lane's good. His team fight's nuts. His pressure on carries, like he like blinks in and they take 2 ticks from his ult and they're like half health. And I'm like, wow, okay, why am I not playing this character every game?
Yeah, if you can get Hades at the moment, probably slam that in the solo lane. Warlocks, Bancroft's Claw, Book of Thought. There's so many ways to build him, and it really doesn't matter. Just if you can get to late game, you're going to be getting ahead, probably. Your lane is ridiculous. Oh, yeah, one more thing we talked about. One assassin we wanted to make sure that we brought up in the conversation was Set. How good at the moment are you thinking?
Oh,
like
maybe it's 2 assassins.
Okay,
it's
2.
Kama and Set. They kind of do the same thing for me.
Okay, you can go off on a tangent on both of them if you'd like.
Yeah, Set's good because he actually is good into Hades. Like
You like Set into Hades just because he can like teleport out of the ult very easily?
well, you
or?
can all in his ult and you win in lane. That's why Set's good, because Set will beat Hades when he ults because he's full damage. Like and Set hits so hard he heals the ult, so it actually puts pressure on Hades' lane. But I'd put Set in like B still. Like he doesn't have like that many crazy lanes. It's like a very niche pick. Kama on the other hand is like very solid, and kind of does the same thing. So I'd put him in A.
Okay, Kama over to A just because, again, you're looking to try and out-pressure. Kama's got a lot of damage with a ton of safety as well. I
Yeah.
almost, whenever I see a Kama in solo, there's just no reason to gank, right? If I see like that
Yeah.
ultimate's up, I'm like, okay, there's no way we're killing. Probably just ignore that. And just has a decent matchup into a lot of the other meta solo laners at the moment. Okay, well, is there anything you'd like to change now that we have a full list here? Anything you want to do, last-minute changes, move anything around? You happy with just Guan and Hades up in S and stuff like that?
Yeah, honestly, I pretty much agree with my list. I'm seeing if there's any characters I'm really thinking about, but I mean, there's a few, but like, nah.
All right, so you're happy with that
Yeah.
one. Remember, if you guys have any questions about this list or you disagree, make sure you screenshot it, tweet at us. We'll tell you why you're wrong. Aquarius, thank you for stopping by, making this tier list with me, and I believe that's all we have for you today. So on behalf of everyone else here, that's the SMITEPro thing. See ya. That was so bad.
Hey, wait, what did it win?
You win the respect.
You're telling me an alien wore this?
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, that was a good cut.
Messaging him to mute.
The best graphics you really need, Ultra, of course, and I can probably watch a stream on the side.
Content's gonna look good.
Pretty good, pretty good.